With Virgin Media, you can build up the entertainment and tear down the price. Switch to Virgin Media today and get superfast broadband and TV for just €49 a month for an awesome 12 months. The sale that stacks up. Now on. See virginmedia.ie and check out how our mobile sales stacks up too.
T's and C's apply. See virginmedia.ie. 12-month contract. Offer ends 27th of February 2019.
So, Dan.
Yeah.
We got something brewing. Something new.
Oh, is it new?
Ish.
Newish.
It's on a new platform.
Sure.
We're running a little campaign to fund the podcast.
Sure. Patreon. Spelled Patreon.
Yeah. But you can be a patron on Patreon.
Right. It's like, imagine that these are the medieval times.
Oh.
And Frank and I are producers of an art form that you enjoy. Right. And you, dear listener, are a wealthy feudal landowner. And you can be a patron of the arts.
Yes.
You are a patron, my friend.
Yes. Crowd-funded patronage.
Yes. So you can go to thankgodimatheist.com. You can click on the Patreon button. You can go to the Patreon page and become a patron. And it's as cheap. You can do it for $1 an episode.
Absolutely.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
$3 an episode, $5. These are all like, this does so much for us.
Absolutely.
If you're willing to give us a little bit of money, so go there, do that, and we'll be very appreciative.
And we'll see you on the flip side.
Here's the show.
Everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
And coming up on the show today, we're going to be talking about, well, this is a topic that we talk about a lot, which is the whole living in a secular society. But there's a new poll out from the AP. We love our polls around here at TGIA.
Frank loves his polls so much.
Love polls. But anyway.
I was going to make a gay joke. But
I'm sure you were, Dan.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
You're gay.
It's where your mind goes a lot, I'm sure.
I bet your mind goes there more, you dirty bird.
Anywho, there's all this gay marriage crap, and this is about a little bit about that, but we're going to take it to a cool, interesting place.
Yeah.
So that's coming up on the second half of the show.
Indeed.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Are we going to be one of those podcasts now where we have a conversation for 20 minutes before we do anything?
I don't know.
We could be.
We could. Could be a new little segment.
Yeah.
It's Frank and Dan chat for a minute.
Frank and Dan, just don't say anything at all.
Just talk about their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Things that are happening.
No, let's not do that. Let's get into some stories. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Why don't you start?
All right. So this has been sent in to us by several people, and we've been watching it for a minute, but this is a story that has now come to some sort of not a conclusion, but there's been a resolution of some sort.
Okay.
So in the Seattle area, the greater Seattle area, there's been a bit of a hubbub because there's a coach, a high school football coach, who has been refusing not to pray. He's made a big show of it to go out onto the field before every game.
I'm so tired of this.
And pray. And this is Seattle. This is Washington. Of course, It's not in Seattle, so it's not like liberal. But I mean, it's Washington. It's pretty liberal there. But he's been
football.
Football. He was told not to do it by the district.
Okay.
But he refused to comply because Jesus. And nobody knew what was really going to happen. The district didn't seem to be taking action or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Enter the Satanic Temple.
Of course.
I fucking love those guys. So what they did was just ask for equal time and just say, well, if Coach is going to be doing a prayer, we would also like to be doing a prayer. The Seattle chapter of the Satanic Temple apparently they were prepped and ready to go. They sent some people to the game on Friday, or whatever, or whenever the game was, something, and just said, you know what, if he's going to pray, we're going to pray. If he doesn't pray, that's fine. Then we won't pray too. And
time.
Yeah. We're only requesting this as long as he's going to pray, and it's such an effective play. It's such an effective play. So now the district has suspended the coach.
Okay.
He's been placed on paid administrative leave. Which actually, for some teachers and for some employees, that would be heaven. Just don't have to go to work, and then you still get paid.
Yeah, but it's filled with all its own unique stresses.
Right.
What's going to happen to me, and will I have a job after this is all up?
Well, and and a coach is invested in his team and in winning and stuff, and he doesn't get to be there for that.
Right.
So I can see how that would actually be a very effective punishment for him.
Well, and he's just addicted to praying.
He is.
So, and that seems to be his one outlet.
Yeah. Yeah. So Satanic Temple has backed off. They are not, and I love it. I think it's so funny that they're so goddamn powerful just because they use the word Satan.
I know. Well, you pick the scariest. It's brilliant because they've picked the scariest thing,
right?
For these folk who are just terrified of the devil.
And here's what's amazing about it: if you go to their website, if you do any research about Satanic Temple, you will instantly see that they don't believe in Satan. Like, that's not what they're about.
Yeah.
But people don't do that. They see people dressed in black with like scary makeup on and like, a goat head or something.
They could be in business suits with the kindest faces in the world. All you have to do is tag them as being from the Satanic Temple.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, but people who are going to be in the Satanic Temple are going to want to get a little dramatic about it.
That's half the fun.
It's half the fun, sure.
Probably 75% of the fun, actually.
Oh my God, it's so hilarious. And then people who outwardly claim not to believe in Satan have that much power over Christians.
Oh yeah,
it's shocking. It's delightful. Go, you guys.
Well, yeah. All right. Hobby Lobby, Dan.
Oh no,
Hobby Lobby.
Don't do it.
Fantastic chain of chintz and crap.
Yeah. Bunch of crap. I don't know how many of our listeners are crafty, but that stuff's just crap.
Yeah. Well, and Hobby Lobby takes it to a new extreme, like a very special extreme.
Right. Well,
it's not a Michaels.
No, they got Jesus crap too.
Yeah.
Michaels has that too. Everything.
They all do because crafters
love their Jesus.
How else are you going to decorate your house with Jesus if you don't have
partially
handcraft it from
cross with hand applied rhinestones and
all right. Anywho, the Green family, right? They're the owners of Hobby Lobby.
Oh yeah,
they make a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
and they like to inject Christianity, like you just said, into their business.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Famously, the chain doesn't open on Sundays. All that kind of crap. Well, they've been working on this Museum of the Bible.
Oh, right.
In
Yeah.
DC,
In
right?
DC, that's right.
Because the Green family, has the largest collection of Bible memorabilia.
I like to call it Bibleabilia.
The found on Earth. Right?
Oh, really?
Largest, well, privately held, probably. There's like over 4,000 pieces or something like that. 40,000.
Holy crap.
Pieces.
Bible. See, now what's funny is Bible memorabilia sounds like, little cutesy pictures of Noah's Ark and stuff. But
Postcards.
That's not what they're talking about.
No.
They've got like actual like historical things of significance found in some archaeological site.
Yeah, and that quite possibly, according to a federal inquiry, inappropriately and possibly illegally got goods.
course it is.
Yeah. I guess there was what Steve Green, right? I think it was Steve Green, who sat down for an interview with a reporter from the Daily Beast, and he basically admitted that he doesn't know where a lot of this stuff comes from. Oh, he did admit that. He didn't basically admit that. What he basically admitted was that some of it's probably ill-gotten.
Look, do we know the provenance on all this crap? No. Do we know who got killed for me to have it? I don't care.
Does it support the Bible? Yes.
Kinda.
Sorta.
Long as you suspend, logic.
Yeah, well, I guess there were a bunch of tablets that, let's see. What's the official... it was a set of antiquities from ancient Iraq that shipped from Israel, and on the bill of lading or whatever, the paperwork to the customs paperwork specifically.
Sure.
It was described as handcrafted clay tiles with a value of about $300.
Oh, just some old clay tiles.
Just some clay tiles we found. we found them at a lovely little shop in Jerusalem, and we thought we'd put them up in the bathroom.
What's the significance of the tiles?
The tiles, that's what they describe them as. They're actually tablets with inscriptions and whatnot on them. They're
are they ancient?
They are ancient. They're supposed to somehow prop up the validity of the Bible.
Oh,
in some way.
Okay,
I don't know how, but they want these are rare biblical artifacts.
So possibly stolen
probably stolen.
Yeah. Artifacts
allegedly probably stolen.
That they just wanted to sneak through customs by claiming it was cheap crap.
Yeah. They didn't want to have to pay,
they probably paid millions for them, or hundreds of thousands for
tens
them.
Of thousands even. Who knows how much they paid?
But if it's over 10,000, then it has to be just. I think it's 10,000 that customs says. I think $10,000 is the cutoff. I could be wrong.
$10,000 cash you're talking about.
Okay,
well, the max that you can cash you can carry.
But there's also a maximum amount of a cost of stuff before you have to declare everything,
right?
And you have to like itemize it and talk about its provenance and all of that sort of thing.
Right.
So,
and these are probably, because they're antiquities, they're probably treaties and shit about importing and exporting and this and that, and they're just bringing them into the country.
There's writing on them? Is that the deal?
Yeah, there's old scribbles on them.
Okay. Boy, those scribbles, I'll tell you, scribble tiles are the best.
Yeah, all it says is that they're ancient clay tablets with some sort of writing on them. But nonetheless, they got to put something in this museum. They only have 40,000 artifacts as it is. They need more.
Well, a lot of their artifacts are probably crap.
Yeah.
Let's face it. A lot of it's bullshit, and they know it.
Yeah.
They just got it for cheap. They got it for, $50 or whatever.
These people are hoarders.
They are, of the worst sort. It's funny because this reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever been in London to the British Museum.
No.
The British Museum, I love the title. First of all, the title is The British Museum. There is it's a full of shit that they stole from other places in the world.
That seems very British.
There's almost nothing from Britain in the British Museum. They got the Elgin tiles, they're Elgin marbles, which are the giant marble things from Greece, and half of these countries have now officially, respectfully asked for this shit back, to which the Brits have said, no. Which is amazing. I mean,
they were a huge, empire.
Yeah.
And one must still celebrate one's former empire.
We certainly understand your position. However, your country belonged to us when we took them. So at that point, it was ours to take. And if it didn't belong to us, It probably should have. You were all very savage at that point.
Who knows what would have happened to it?
Well, they do make that argument that it's like, we take better care of this than you would, so we should probably hang on.
Yeah. Oh, it's wretched.
All right, I'm gonna move on. In Florida, this comes to us via Hemant Mehta, talking about in Florida in a Apopka City Commission meeting. There was an atheist gave an invocation. Of course, there's this fine tradition in this country of ours of prayers happening before government meetings, which is, how you say in English, wrong, but that's something that they do. So, but the thing is, you can't do that and then deny everyone that isn't Christian the opportunity. So, so this nice atheist gets up, gives a nice little speech. It's not really a prayer because we don't pray, but a nice little speech or whatever. Mm-hmm. At the end of the meeting, I think this is amazing. The mayor, Joel Kilsheimer, turns to a pastor who happened to be in the audience, Doug Bankson, and says, quote, "Maybe, Pastor Doug, since we were kind of uncovered at the start of the meeting, you can cover us with a benediction as we leave tonight?"
Oh, dear God. Uncovered.
Yeah, you weren't covered. They weren't covered. So, yeah.
That's interesting phrasing.
So there was some criticism that came from this, to which the mayor responded, "I personally don't think that one expression negated the other. They both stood on their own, and they're both expressions of concern for the community and for how we conduct our business. They're both equally as valid."
But they don't have a tradition of doing benedictions.
No.
They do they do invocations, right?
Yeah. It's not like they. He says that, and then as Hemant points out, it's not like the Christians. It's not like when they have a Christian prayer at the beginning, they invite an atheist up to just fix it with a little bit of atheist hoodoo.
We need some balance in this room.
Yeah.
Are there any atheists who could leave us with a kind word?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they don't seem to. It doesn't seem like that might be. It seems unlikely that that's happening. Oh my God! Since we were uncovered, it's like they don't. Well, okay. The truth is, they don't think about it. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is apply any kind of reasoning to the concept of prayer in general, and you will see that you don't have to pray before all of the things. You could pray right now and say, "Hey, you know, God, how you know everything that I'm ever going to think ever? All of those things that I would want you to do, please do them. Amen."
Some sort of universal, just like cover all your bases prayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the way out.
Right, exactly. And then from then on, you can just keep checking in with God. You can pray and say, like, "Hey, God, it's me. I'm just checking in."
Whatever happened to just keeping a prayer in your heart?
Yeah, just keep it in your heart.
And that's where it belongs.
And keep it out of our fucking government.
Your prayer, it needs to stay inside.
Right.
Enough with this getting it out into public spaces.
Well, the Bible expressly forbids praying. Jesus himself said, "Don't pray in public." He told people not to do that.
Yeah.
But they don't believe him.
No.
Why would you believe Jesus?
Why would you?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Get your hands up in the air, people, and start some...
Wave them like you just don't care.
Crazy praying. All right. Well, here's some people who believe something.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like believing.
Hindus in India.
Yeah.
Killing people who eat beef.
Killing them. Really?
Yes. So-called beef vigilante groups.
Ooh.
That's a quote.
The beef
vigilantes.
Yes.
Okay. Are running around the countryside because they're concerned that the government isn't doing enough to protect cows. Now, apparently, even though India does have a secular constitution, it does call for the protection of cows.
Yeah.
And states are sort of left to figure out what that means. And most, ban the slaughter of cows.
I think one meal I ate beef in India.
Yeah?
At one restaurant that I went to.
Well, you could have really raised or caused some real problems for yourself, Dan, because these groups, let's see, in September, an angry Hindu mob broke down the door of a 50-year-old Muslim man, dragged him outside, and kicked him and beat him with bricks until he died, all based on the rumor that he'd eaten cow. When police sent the meat stored in his refrigerator for forensic testing, it turned out to be goat.
What? Why do they need to forensic test the meat?
They need to find out if he was appropriately killed.
It seems like the only reason to test the meat is
justify.
Wait, this would be okay. I mean, if this is actually cow, then what they did was totally okay. Yeah,
that seems to be the subtext.
You don't get to murder somebody.
Yeah.
Period.
And then apparently, about 2 weeks ago, another beef vigilante group fatally beat a truck driver who was transporting cows in some province whose name I will not attempt to pronounce.
Okay.
And it was all sort of on the rumor that the cattle were on their way to be slaughtered.
But this was just a rumor.
Yeah, all of this is just based on rumors. In Kashmir, a mob burned a Muslim teenager over rumors of cow slaughter.
Jesus Christ.
And when a Muslim lawmaker in Kashmir held a, quote, beef party in protest, he was assaulted by other lawmakers from the ruling Hindu Nationalist Party, the BJP, on the floor of the State House.
Oh, my God.
Cameras were rolling. The whole thing is documented. The list just goes on and on of all these incidents.
Here's the thing. Like burning people, beating them with bricks, all of that stuff, there's nothing funny about that. That is horrific.
Yeah.
Beef vigilanteism is pretty funny, though.
No,
cow vigilanteism is pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. As a phrase before you start really thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And apparently the issue here really is that poor Muslim families are eating beef because it's cheap. They can get it super cheap. It's cheaper than chicken or mutton.
In part probably because there are cows just wandering the street and people are just taking them.
I hope for their sake that's not what they're doing.
They're just taking them into the backyard.
I mean, you would think that like black market beef would end up being almost a delicacy, right? Like
Like,
it would be super expensive.
Like you have to know the password to get into the restaurant, and then you gotta know like the you gotta show your something.
Yeah, you go to the door, knock, and what's the password?
Mm-hmm.
Moo.
only Hindu for moo.
What's that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't speak Hindu.
Moo. Dude, well, all you have to do is moo with a...
You just moo. It's me doing an impression of my friend's dad, but that's not helpful when you just say the word moo.
I know. It's hard to inject enough of the Indian presence.
Yeah, exactly. But I did wobble. I wobbled my head when... You have to just wobble your head when you say it. I love how Indians wobble their heads. It's awesome. I had to watch a whole video on it, before I went to India because I got confused about like
what's the head wobble about?
Because there's like different things. There's a head shake, like we have, that means no.
Okay,
and then there's a head wobble that means yes.
Oh,
but to our eyes, it looks like they're saying no.
Oh,
it's very tricky.
It mainly just looks like they've lost control of their neck muscles. It's kind of what's really going on.
It's a weird thing. I'm going to switch to the Mormons. We've talked about it before a number of times. The Mormons keep releasing what I call damage control essays, but what they call essays.
Yeah.
And these are essays about controversial topics in Mormon history or in Mormonism.
And they've got them aplenty.
They've got lots of them, and so they're trying to get out in front of that. They're trying to make sure that they...
150 years later, they're trying to get out in front of it.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Well, they're trying to get out because somebody discovered this thing called the internet. I'm not sure who it was. Somebody figured out that it existed, and now people have been, like, actually reading stuff and, like, learning things.
I just imagine Thomas S. Monson on his computer
Looking at...
just clicking icons randomly to see what they do. And he comes across this one, Internet Explorer. What is this?
Huh?
Oh, what is all this?
That's the internet, Grandpa. You can learn stuff. Oh, and then he's alone. He types Mormon. And then he looks
Yeah,
at...
because that would be his first search.
Wait, what the fuck? What is this stuff? What are they saying?
Yep.
Anywho, so the newest, the latest and greatest in the long line of Mormon essays.
Yeah.
There's a couple about women. The women.
Oh,
Mormons.
nice. They love the women.
They love women, and have very special. The women have very special roles.
That's because women are special.
Women are special.
Yeah.
Men have just responsibilities.
Yeah, just hairy beasts.
Yeah, but
What could they possibly?
women are sacred and special.
Yeah.
There have been criticisms of late of the Mormon Church.
Oh, yeah?
Based on about their takes on women and the special place that women have in the church and
Very
all that
special
sort of
place,
thing.
yeah.
There are feminist Mormons, and so this has been a problem. So this is the church's attempt to get out from under the pressure cooker of Mormon feminism.
No.
In which they basically just change the meaning of all of the words until they don't mean what they mean.
Oh.
Kate Kelly, former Mormon, who was excommunicated about a year ago, if you'll recall, and then was sort of was the leader of a Mormon group called what are they called? Ordained women that wanted women to be ordained into the priesthood. Well, the truth of the matter is that in Mormon history, Joseph Smith did ordain women to the priesthood.
Shush.
And he did he said things like, I turn these keys over to you. And keys is a very, very big word in Mormonism.
Yeah.
And ordain is a very big word in Mormonism.
I'm curious at what point can they even possibly claim Joseph Smith anymore? Because honestly, just give up, people. Clearly Brigham Young was the founder of your church. That is clear to everybody at this point.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you really don't follow the teachings of Joseph Smith. And you don't look at his life for examples of how to live.
Yeah, but they love his book so much.
They do love that Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Pearl of Great Price.
So that's where.
Yeah.
So you got to have your Joe Smith in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the problem. So here are some ways in which they and Kate Kelly accuses them of gaslighting. Which, for those of you who don't know, because I had to look it up,
Yeah.
it's not a word that I've used a lot. Apparently, gaslighting is when you try and make someone doubt their own perception of something or their own memory of something, or even their own sanity,
Right.
by sort of selectively omitting things or twisting facts.
And it has an abusive relationship connotation.
It
right?
does.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
Okay.
So she accused them of gaslighting. And here are some of the ways that they did it. Here's a quote from one of their essays. In 1830s America, the word priesthood was defined as, quote, the order or character of a priest, and, quote, the order of men set apart for sacred offices, identifying priesthood with religious office and the men who held it. Early Latter-day Saints likewise thought of priesthood primarily in terms of ordination to ecclesiastical office and authority to preach and perform religious rites. As in, anyway, basically, I'm not gonna read the whole damn thing to you. What they're basically doing is being like, well, what they thought of as priesthood is not how we think of the word priesthood, and the word keys then meant something different than how we think of the word keys now, it's all utter bullshit.
Right. Okay.
But it's this lovely way of like taking all these criticisms based on their own history,
Right.
and being like, yeah, but really that's not what they meant. They said it. Sure, of course they said it. But they were talking about something totally different. You can't use our words today and how we see them today to talk about it back in the 1830s.
Yeah.
In the 1830s, shirt meant pants. It was just a different time.
Oh. It was a different time. I will grant them that.
It's definitely a different time.
But I don't know that that doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, in our former religion, dear listener, the priesthood is magic that you get when you're a boy.
Yeah.
And you don't get it when you're a girl.
It reminds me of Newspeak, right? Wasn't that what in 1984 Orwell called sort of the work that they had to use? It was all about rewriting the language and omitting bits and pieces of like news stories. That's what the
inconvenient.
It's what the main. I almost called him the title character. It's what the
you know that
character.
year that's walking around.
I can't remember the main character's name in the book, but like that was his job. He would sit there and he would like sort of rewrite news stories.
Oh, I see.
In order so that they conformed
with the rules
with Newspeak, right? The way that language was being used now.
Yeah, I've never read that book.
You've never read 1984?
Nope.
Oh, you should read 1984. That's or get the book on tape, Dan.
That's so 20 years ago.
We know
30
years ago, Dan. 31 years ago. Oh,
math.
You're also good at the math, aren't you?
Math. That was just because I was like, there's no way that it was 30 years ago, because that would make me okay. Okay. That's right.
Oh, Dan, guess what's coming up?
What?
Actually, by the time this show drops, to use the lingo, Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
We're going to be launching this episode on Halloween.
Oh.
So if you listen that night, then this will be a very appropriate spooky story.
Okay.
If not, you'll just appreciate the story for what it is.
Okay.
Walmart.
Oh.
In a grand effort to catch up to Amazon.com, is pushing a lot of product out on Walmart.com.
Okay.
And because, they're probably losing a lot of sales to that Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have some questionable costumes and Halloween paraphernalia up on their website.
Okay.
Thanks to these were in their Halloween store.
Okay.
Right. The one that really raised everybody's attention is a prosthetic nose, a large hooked prosthetic nose.
No, don't do it.
That is the Sheik Fagin nose. Which is unbelievable in how comprehensively anti-Semitic it is.
Indeed. They managed to get all of the Semitic peoples involved.
Fagin, of course, a villainous Jew in Charles Dickens' novel.
Right, in Oliver Twist.
In Oliver Twist.
And Sheik being anyone of Arab descent, randomly Arab descent, apparently.
And this is the image, Dan. I'm just going to pass this over to you.
Oh.
But pass it right back after you appreciate it.
Right.
That went with the online sale.
Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen. What I'm looking at is now. By the way, this could have been marketed as witch nose, and they would have been perfectly safe.
Oh, absolutely.
But no, they needed to put it on a man with a goatee and something resembling the Arab
headwear.
The
scarf on head with a little
like rope around it or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't remember what that's called, but yeah, they decided that it was better to go 100% racist.
Yeah.
Like 100%. That's not even shying away from racism. That's just like, hey, you know what'd be cool? Racism.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to do a public service announcement. It may be too late for you people because by the time you hear this,
already made a horrible mistake.
you may have already done a horrible mistake. It is not okay. White people,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to be any other race for any other reason at Halloween.
Yeah.
Ever for any reason.
Yeah.
At all.
I had to shut one down the other day.
At work?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
From someone who I didn't expect it from at all. Who took a minute to really, because he's I hate sort of like the idea of post-racial or blah, 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 blah. But he's somebody who grew up in an area where there were a lot of black people. And, you know, he just didn't understand, strangely enough, that if you're he wanted to be Ice-T.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at him and I was like, don't put any makeup on your face to complete that costume. And he was like, really? Really? And I'm like, yeah, really? You can't. And I had to sit and really explain it. And he goes, I understand blackface. I'm not doing blackface.
Right.
I'm not doing a minstrel show. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But you just can't.
It's not about that.
And he was like, why? And I'm like, because if for no other reason, it is offensive to members of that minority group. And you don't even have to fully understand it. Just don't do it.
Right.
Just don't. Know that it's offensive and don't do it. And he finally was like, okay.
Yeah,
But you can't be a Native American.
No.
Cannot.
Pocahontas? No. Offensive.
Yeah.
Wrong.
It's bad.
You can't be a geisha? You
Really?
can't. No. Franklin.
I have purchased everything I need to be a geisha
For
this
your
year.
geisha. Well, you can be a geisha. Just don't go Asian on it.
Well, how would I not go Asian on it?
Do the makeup, but don't do your eyes to look Asian-y.
Okay.
You can do like the red cheeks and the red lip and the white
But I can't paint my eyes all like almond shaped.
Correct. Here's the thing. If it's about the race, you can't do it. And you know what? And you want to know what's not fair to you white folks? They can do you.
Yeah.
And that's fair. So,
But-
suck it up, white people.
Yeah.
Own your privilege.
Yeah. Anywho, it goes on.
Oh, there's more.
There were some other costumes.
More racism?
Depends on who's wearing it, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
They were also selling a Israeli soldier costume for kids.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, just look at it.
No, I got to see. It's tiny.
It also.
Oh, it comes with a gun.
Well, it said that's an accessory.
Oh,
you
that's
can get. I think there was a line in there that said something about steal your child with appropriate artillery or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, steal your little soldier with prop weapon from our vast accessories artillery. Oh, this is a better picture right there, Dan.
Why Israeli soldier? What do they do?
I don't know.
Why is that a costume?
I don't know. This is the product description. Defend your Jewish heritage proudly by wearing the Israeli soldier boy's costume.
Oh, my God.
The Israeli Defense Forces have a mission to protect the land and the people of Israel from outside threats with low casualties and to avoid waging war if at all
What
possible.
the fuck are they talking about?
One of the IDF's core values is human life, and they see every person as a being of value despite his or her nationality.
What the fuck is going on? This is the product description of a child's costume? Why are we delving into world politics? I am completely baffled. I am literally freaked out.
What better opportunity to discuss difficult and complex regional issues than while your child's trick-or-treating?
What is a Halloween for if not geopolitical discussion and genderment? Honestly, I don't see the point. That's fucking crazy. I can't figure it out. I can't. I'm done. I quit the show. I quit everything. Because that just... Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to argue with us about whether or not it's okay to put on the makeup of a different race, or if you would like to tell us why a kid would want to go as an Israeli soldier for Halloween, Lord knows you can write into us. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail message. We'd love to hear your voice.
Yeah.
The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Talk me down off this ledge, folks. Also, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Also on Facebook, you can search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Yeah.
You have to request to join.
Yep.
Maybe you'll be let in.
Maybe.
And once you're there, though, it's amazing. So you should go do that. Go join people.
Yeah.
All right. We need to take a quick break. This is some Pat Robertson craziness.
Oh, a little patty break for y'all.
Well, it used to be called All Saints' Eve. Now we know it as Halloween, and Saturday is Halloween. And that's the day when millions of children and adults will be dressing up as devils, witches, and goblins to celebrate Satan.
Oh, my God. He can be such a fuddy-duddy.
Devils, witches, and demons.
Yeah, because that's what everybody's dressing at. Those the hot costumes.
Yeah, exactly. Although,
sexy devil.
they're still there. Yeah, they just...
Sexy demon.
Sexy
witch.
I'm a sexy witch.
Sexy Pat Robertson.
Yeah, oh... If anybody could actually pull off some sort of sexy Pat Robertson costume, here's what I imagine. You have to get a latex Pat Robertson head mask. Like your whole head has to look like Pat Robertson.
A Nixon mask would work.
You could modify it.
Yeah.
Sure. And then you put a jacket on, but you have no shirt on, so it's like pecs showing.
Oh, yeah.
Under there.
Yeah.
And then you say something stupid.
You have to carry a little Bible around. And your slacks are shorts. They're short shorts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jorts. You get some jorts going.
And then you wear some really high pulled up socks.
Or stockings.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like some
fishnets.
How about some fishnets?
With the little, what are the braces
with the garter
called?
belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he puts on women's clothing. Like, it's not even like that's a possibility. That is a psychological fact. That man wears fishnets on the reg. Probably under his suits on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at home, he's got an array of lingerie that he wears over that wrinkly old body. Yep.
Oh, well, we took that to a terrifying place.
You're welcome, everybody. Ooh, how about that for your Halloween spookiness?
Boy, that
pretty good.
Conjured up a little ooh. More like ooh.
Exactly. You want spooky? I give you Pat Robertson in drag. People wrote into us, so I'm gonna say their words on the show. Hello, Frank and Dan, writes Liz. Wanted to write in for the clothing and religion question. I was pretty lucky that my mom was Christian Protestant Nazarene. Those guys are pretty laid back, just as long as you don't dance in the church. The only religious clothes I ever had were T-shirts with the church's name on it. After figuring out the whole religion thing was BS, I turned those shirts into rags that I used to clean my paintbrushes.
Oh.
I painted with acrylics a lot in middle and high school. Excuse me, Liz. Sorry. In middle and high school, I've now upgraded to the more expensive gouache paints, or gouache. I think it's gouache. How do you pronounce that?
I don't know.
Far too many vowels in that phrase.
Okay.
And those rags became so encrusted with paint that even my mom didn't know what they were originally. I think that's cute. She says, on another note, I would like to hear your guys' opinion on Catholic attire. The male priests wearing long black dress things, and why a small box of white on why a small box of white on a high black collar. I don't know about you, but on younger men, I find that look rather attractive. No, just me? Love you guys, Liz. Any thoughts? Do you find priestly garb to be hot?
I've seen a young priest or two.
That turned you on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure. But did the garb help or hinder that?
Not sure, because it definitely makes it just about up here.
Like neck up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't really get a sense of, like, you know, anything else.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there. No. So, no. The robe does nothing.
Here's what
enhance the male form.
No, not at all. But here's how I could imagine it enhancing attractiveness is if it's about like defiling something. Because I can see that being kind of sexy.
Yeah, I don't get off on the whole defiling thing.
Yeah, nor do I. But some folks do.
Some people do. Some people
do.
like that. They like that idea. But no, not so much for me.
And you know what? Our discussion last week about clothing was not about what the ecclesiastical leaders wear, because that's a totally different discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
It's more about what adherents to certain religions have to wear.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if it's your job, like they have job uniforms.
Yeah.
And they're the weirdest, wackiest job uniforms. But I'm not that like messed up about those.
Right.
It's much more about like if you're just a normal person walking
you're
around
a member of the community
in your day, and you're wearing something funky. That means
specific
something.
Item. I think that's really the key too.
Yeah.
That it's not, or that there's some rule about what you wear, like the fabric, what it's made out of.
Well, and it's like it's also
kind of stitching,
but it's also about you presenting an outward show of your religion, and that changes how you're perceived, and it changes your interactions in the world, and all sorts of stuff.
And
with
beyond
a priest,
just like a
it's
mandate,
like
and beyond just a mandate for modesty, you don't find a lot in Christianity.
Although I will say that you get into the priest class of humans, it doesn't matter what the religion is, they get the wackiest hats.
They do.
They get some wackadoo hats.
Why? Why has religion focused on hats?
I think they did. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it seems like
you find lots of different hats around the world.
You do.
For
priests.
Yeah.
For bishops.
Why is
and
wearing
cardinals
something on your head so important?
It makes you taller.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Perceived importance.
Your grandeur.
Your height.
Your bigness is enhanced. Look at how big. What they should have done is given them lifts in their shoes.
Too.
I'll bet they did.
Yeah. We just didn't really notice those.
No, because they're under a dress. You don't see them.
All right, I have a voicemail rather.
Oh, okay. Why don't you play that?
Continues the discussion about clothing, religious clothing, and whatnot.
Hey guys, this is Alina from Texas. I'm calling in reference to your latest episode about religious garments. And coming from like a Protestant, Methodist, Christian background, and living in the state of Texas, blingy jeans with like the cross on your butt and, fish jewelry and decals on your car and bumper stickers. I mean, it's kind of everywhere around here. And I also wanted to know kind of what we thought about the presence of religion in fashion. So on the opposite end. So not just when you're religious and you're required to wear something, but what about, a couple years ago was really popular. Everything had a cross on it, and they would be sideways or upside down, and now all the little earrings and everything. And Lady Gaga was wearing, like, crosses. And, I would go out shopping, and there'd be, like, a slutty crop top T-shirt from Forever 21 with a cross on it. And just kind of like, what are our thoughts as non-believers? I mean, I purposely go out of my way to avoid anything that shows religion or promotes religion in my life, including clothing. But, you see a lot of people throw it around as fashion. And I'm not saying it because it's disrespectful. I'm saying it because it's annoying. What are your thoughts?
Thanks, Selena. It is interesting. You know, you said Forever 21. My wife used to work for Forever 21, and I can tell you they are. They even put. I think they're like In-N-Out Burger. They actually put like
there's a Bible verse on the
Bible
bottom
verse
of
on the
bag,
on
right?
their bag and stuff.
Yeah.
They're very Christian-y people.
Yeah,
they're also Korean. They're Korean Christians.
yeah.
They're Christians, is what I'm. That's the thing. Anyway, yeah. I do love the idea of the blinged out jeans with the cross on it.
Yeah. Blinged out jeans, period, are great, but you put it in. You
put a
arrange those little the bedazzles into the shape of a cross, and you got something special there.
Look, Jesus, I got your beloved murder weapon on my ass, and I sit on you every day.
That's take that cross.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that murder weapon. How dare you?
Yeah, don't murder my Jesus. I don't know. Yeah, people just. The weird thing about Christianity, like mainstream Christianity, is that it doesn't require any specific kind of garb. Mm-hmm. So anyone who wears a cross or, you know, some T-shirt that says Jesus is my co-pilot or whatever, mm-hmm. they're choosing to do that.
Right.
That's a different thing altogether.
Right.
And equally or more annoying, I would say. To like a Mennonite who's wearing, or an Amish person who's wearing what Amish people have to wear.
Right.
That's like one thing. But when it's a Christian who's like making sure that you know that they are a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And usually in poor taste. The expression itself, not the expressing it is in poor taste, and then the actual physical manifestation,
whatever it is that you've chosen,
just aesthetically, is in poor taste.
You've done that tackily. That is a tacky expression of your faith.
Perhaps could accept your expression of faith if it just looked better,
right? If you just, honestly,
you know. If it was sort of merchandised out better.
Anyway.
Accessorized better.
Andrew wrote in, "Hey, Frank and Dan. I've been listening for a while now, and something you discussed on your last episode made me write in. You guys discussed shrooms and the spiritual effect it has on people. Mm-hmm. Well, after leaving Christianity and becoming atheist, I got into meditation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Before I thought it was the devil, because that's what my very anti-anything else Christianity family told me. But even after leaving Christianity, I thought it was all just lies about the experiences you can have under meditation. I can assure you it's very real, because you can have very, very spiritual experiences from it. Although I was already atheist and knew that it was all in my head, I could see how convincing it could be. I could go on and on about how it all works and why those things happen, but I'll just tell you my first successful experience with it. So it was 3 a.m. after waking up in the middle of the night, because I guess that's the best time to do the meditation I wanted to do. After 10 minutes of sitting and still clearing my mind, I felt a rush of what felt like energy flow through my body, and I felt numb. This is also known as sleep paralysis, where your body paralyzes itself so you don't act out dreams. Then I heard a Russian man next to me talking, but I couldn't understand him, and I also heard a very loud spaceship taking off in my room. I then was at my school with my two friends, knowing this was all a dream, lucid dreaming. After about 5 minutes of exploring my surroundings, everything went away, and I saw a very bright light and felt a sense of safety, warmth, and happiness when I was surrounded by it. Seems like what people who have near-death experiences say they see too, doesn't it? After waking up, I was in an incredible mood for a few days, and now I try to do this every night. Now, I know this was all a dream, but Buddhists see this as a journey on your path to enlightenment or whatever bullshit. I am very interested in how your mind does this, and am actually writing a paper for school on what happens to you when this happens. Sorry for the long message, but I just thought I would share my experience."
Interesting.
So thanks, Andrew. It is interesting. Yeah. The things that people label spiritual experiences. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that I have ever been adequately explained that it's ever been adequately explained what that means to me. But
Well, I think it's a unique and powerful, emotionally powerful experience.
yeah, usually people
that
connect
is
it with
not-
like some sort of connection to the universe. Or,
people. You want to ascribe meaning to it.
Right.
You want to connect it to something,
Right.
to a god figure or nature or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, if you're going into if you're seeking out these kind of experiences as a rational human being, then you know that they are just powerful experiences that can come about from the mind itself.
Yep.
And that's and if you're finding meaning and power and just a positive experience in that, then great.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. In fact, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
You know, I feel positive about meditation. I feel like it's something that I need to explore.
Actually, yeah, you know, and there's actual like real data to
Yeah.
back up the idea that meditation can be of use.
Yeah.
So great,
well done.
and I'm proud of Andrew for not like ascribing more to it than
what it is.
than might be appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hannah Rose wrote in and said, this is a quick one. I'd like to tell you about my personal experience growing up with religion and my struggles with the expectation of maintaining a certain look. I will tell you in the form of haiku.
All right. Please proceed. That was completely unexpected.
I know. Embraced a goth look, was Seventh-day Adventist, loved eyeliner more.
Oh, well done.
Thank you, Hannah
Well
Rose. That's adorable. All right. We do have some people who have given us money for doing the show.
Yes.
They've participated. I'm going to start
Okay.
because somebody gave us a one-time donation on PayPal.
Wonderful.
That person was Frank, not you, Frank, but
Okay. A different Frank.
a Frank.
One of the others.
Gave us a one-time donation on PayPal. That's delightful. Thank you very much. And then we do have some Patreon donors as well to thank.
We do have donors on Patreon, which, of course, you can find the campaign at... I think it's probably best to send people to our website.
Sure.
Where there's a link to the specific page. And so you can go to thankgodimatheist.com, and then off to the right-hand side, there's a link to the Patreon campaign. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're well on our goal to hit our second goal.
Okay.
And these are the people I need to thank. It's been a couple weeks since I've thanked people, so I'm sorry I didn't get to you sooner. But here you go. You get your on-air thanks. Stephen, Brian, Ryan, Alexandra, Elizabeth, Satan.
Thank you, Satan.
Thank you, Satan.
Hail Satan.
Tim Pittman.
Hail Tim.
Oh, why did I say his whole name?
Oh, yeah, you're not... Should we cut that out?
Yeah. Tim.
Hail Tim.
Marine. Jeff, Shane, Mike, Michael, Tracy, Suzanne, Angela, and Whitney.
Awesome. So amazing, you guys.
Some very generous people. Thank you very much. Does help us keep the show on the air.
By participating in this, you are a venture capitalist helping a group. I don't know. You're part of something.
Now, there's no potential return, so I don't know if they're really VCs.
The return is us.
What I think they're doing is they're paying for some content that they're getting.
God, you're such a... Yeah, we're both like trying to find the most ugly capitalistic ways of viewing this possible.
Did I find it?
Yeah, well, we both were pretty bad. Or we could just say you are donating to a cause that you believe in. How
Yeah.
about that?
A weekly show.
A weekly
that
show.
you enjoy.
That we hope you enjoy anyway. Hey, tell us a story. Tell us a thing.
Well, okay.
Launch us into this discussion.
The AP.
The app.
They do polls.
Yes, indeed.
And I like polls, so this caught my attention. Especially because it's surrounding the issue of gay marriage licenses and the clerks who have been denying people, such as that now famous Kim Davis.
Sure.
From Kentucky.
She's a popular one.
With her hairdo and dress.
It's more of a hair don't.
Oh,
Ba-dum-ts.
poor dear. Anywho, the AP asked the American public, "What do you think of this?" If
her hair?
No, of people, clerks denying people gay marriage licenses. Should clerks issue licenses to gay couples?
Sure.
And for
this is within the context of gay marriage having become universally legal in the country.
In these United States, yes. And for the first time, the majority of the public says that these clerks are off base.
Oh.
That they should that they are being paid to do a job that they ran for.
Right.
And so that's what you do.
And
when it's legal,
neglecting their duties.
They're neglecting their duties. And so when something's legal, it's not for someone in middle management to decide whether or not that thing should happen or not on their watch.
Right. It's already been decided.
It's been decided by people at a higher pay grade than you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So you just do your duty, which is to do your job.
Yeah.
And issue those licenses.
So how many people, what was the percentage of people that said that they believed that she should have just done her job?
So it says 41. Okay, I think these are the national numbers.
Okay.
41% favor an exemption.
An exemption.
An exemption.
So that they don't have to.
So they don't have to.
I see.
56% think they should be required to issue licenses.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting is amongst Republicans, a majority of them, 58%, still favor religious exemptions. But that's down 14 points since July.
Wow.
So they're swiftly moving toward an acknowledgement that maybe just perhaps living in a secular society, in a secular system, is or maybe has some value.
Right.
That maybe that's a good thing.
Also, what they've done is the knee has jerked, and now they've sort of come back from that.
Yes.
And they're just sort of like, oh, now that I'm done defending my side,
right,
I can actually think about the issue.
Right. And maybe it's okay. Maybe they should just do, if it's legal. Now maybe we should still be fighting to end this abhorrent, terrible thing.
Awful.
Gay marriage.
Yeah.
We can still vote against it if it ever comes up again.
Right.
But in the meantime,
they need to do their
legal,
job. Right.
And people they can't pick and choose what part of the job they've been elected to do. Well,
one of the grumpiest of the grumpy old men of the Mormon Church actually came down on that side as well. Dallin Oaks.
Yeah.
Who he's a guy who, no fan of the queers by any stretch of the imagination, but did recently come out with a statement that said, hey, I think that this Kim Davis should have just done her damn job.
Yeah. And this article in the New York Times talks about Dallin H. Oaks.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Can you believe that?
I scooped you.
You did. Thanks, Dan. Actually, I wasn't even going to bring up Dallin H. Oaks.
Right.
Who the fuck cares about Dallin H. Oaks?
I don't know.
I don't care about Dallin H. Oaks. Anyway, but we thought, this is an interesting thing because recently in Salt Lake City, we've had the World Conference of Families happen, right? This is the organization that fights for capital punishment for homosexuality in Uganda and that kind of crap.
Yeah, they're all for that kind of shit.
Hate group, according to a number of organizations,
Frank,
including the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Frank, they are a love group.
That's how they've been trying to cast themselves.
They love to hate gays.
Yeah.
That's loving.
Oh, that is loving. But anyway, it raised some questions here in Salt Lake as to an appropriate response.
Sure.
by local businesses. What should the local businesses do? And my stance that I took at work was I like living in a society where when a place of business is open, when they have their doors open to the public is allowed in.
Right.
We don't deny people service for what they believe.
Yeah, so you and I were talking about this earlier, and we were talking about how there are some restaurants in town who were talking about not letting in someone from that convention,
And I think it's terrible.
based on that organization's hatred of gay people.
And
the thing is, that turns us into them.
turns us into Kentucky hillbillies.
It turns us into the same people who are denying cakes to gays.
And pizzas for gay wedding receptions.
Right. It becomes this thing of taking a stand by not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And we have been railing against that on this show.
Yeah.
But that is the wrong thing to do. And I think in this instance, it is still the wrong thing to do.
yeah, just because the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
The point is, and this is the point, and we were saying this before, it's if we're in America, which is supposed to be, it's never been, but it's supposed to be a bastion of free speech, a place where people of differing beliefs and differing stances on certain issues can come together and have a society.
Yeah.
We can have a civil society even when we disagree with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Now, does this mean don't protest? Absolutely not.
No.
I think that groups getting together and standing outside the convention center and holding up signs,
Which is super effective.
super effective, but I have zippo problem with that
No.
because they are utilizing their free speech.
Of course.
And they're going out and and writing op-ed pieces against this organization. Absolutely, these are the things that should be done.
I think that's
we should be
vital.
having a discussion
Right.
about who this organization is. And the point that I made at work was we're used to dealing with bigoted people who hate us. They're called Mormons.
Right. They come
We
in
deal
all
with
the
them
time.
every day.
Yeah.
So what's new here, people?
Right.
And
It's-
I think nobody expected this from me.
Right.
I think everybody thought that the gay man was going to come in and just be fucking pissed off and want us to, no, we can't serve these people.
I will walk out of this place right now. Civil society. This is the whole point. This is what the poll is indicating. This is, when we ask as public servants to do their job, even if it involves something that they find distasteful, it's what this is. This whole conversation has really skirted, like the national conversation has skirted the real issue, which is we're supposed to be a civil society. We're supposed to be able to disagree with each other without yelling. We're supposed to be able to disagree with each other and still have a really good conversation that's respectful, that honors both people.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. The problem right now is that, you watch the news channel that agrees with you.
Right.
And half of what you watch on that channel is people yelling at someone who disagrees and not paying, and not being respectful to someone who disagrees and mocking the other side. And this is what we've come to.
Right.
We're a society of mockery as opposed to a society of listening, trying to understand, and then making valid points on our own.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't serve us. We are ill-served by the current state of affairs.
Absolutely.
So
we need to be a little, we need to back off this ledge that people are so willing to get up on.
people love to scream and shout at each other.
Yeah, and it's what fascinates me is how quickly people feel justified in doing the thing that they hated from the other side.
Yeah.
As soon as the tables are turned.
Right. Well, it serves them right.
Yeah. Well, they
did it to us.
Yeah.
We can do it to them.
Yeah.
Because wrongs
or
make
somehow
rights.
it's different, right?
Right. Well, they did it because of hatred. We do it because they
Of love.
Because they are hateful.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It can't work on that level.
No.
It doesn't work on that level. And we see that right now. The country, our discourse is broken, and
Yeah.
and somebody somewhere has to start stepping back.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
know?
every time, get angry. If you're angry about something, that's fine. But instead of screaming and shouting and hating,
Yeah.
you can say, that really makes me angry, and I'd like to discuss with you why.
Right.
That hurts me, and I want to tell you why.
In these instances, there aren't that many venues for that. I mean, I guess you could get little buttons made that say, "I am angry at you. Ask me why."
Right.
And walk around the convention center.
I don't think that would be an interesting thing to do. The other thing is just watch how you're talking.
Yeah.
In any context.
Yeah.
On Facebook and on the internet, instead you can say, "Fuck all the conservatives for their blah," or "Fuck all the liberals for their blah,"
Yeah.
or you could say, "I'm really offended by this, and this is the reason why."
Right. Yeah.
And there's a universe of difference between those two responses.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that. Thank you, AP.
Yeah. And
for shedding some light. I am pleased that our nation seems to be grasping at this concept on at least one issue.
Oh my God.
Or at least the issue of people who they just need to fucking do their job.
It's amazing how quickly, once something's kind of settled and everybody kind of starts to resign themselves to it, it's amazing how quickly it just becomes such a non-issue. Like in 3 years, there's going to be a poll about gay marriage, and everybody's going to be like, why is there a poll?
Yeah. No, I know, because it really will only be the rabid religious types
Right.
who are left caring about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like we're already there.
Yeah.
The like an approval poll, if they're asking about approval and non-approval, right? If you still feel a little icky about it, you might not approve.
Yeah.
But you probably, at the end of the day, don't really even care.
Right. And
Like,
that's what's going to take over.
Be over on that other side so quickly.
It's going to take a few years before everybody sort of calms down, realizes society hasn't collapsed, and
Right.
and it's just been happening for long enough that it's just sort of part of things now.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, yeah, I guess now we have electric cars and gays. There are new things in the world.
And gays in self-driving cars. Just the worst.
The nightmare, the dystopian future that is coming. If you'd like to write into us and let us know how you feel, the email address, the electronic mail address would be podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail message. The phone number is 424-666-8442.
That's country code 1.
Yes, for all of you outside of the North American calling
I'm going
system.
to guess that most of you don't want to pay, like, crazy international calling rates, but you're welcome to.
Yeah, why
if you
not?
want to.
There are all sorts of ways to get around that these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look into the hacks, I guess, or whatever. Anyway, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge.
Yeah.
Also on Facebook. Search for it there.
Yeah.
And request to join and get in. And then it's just awesomeness.
Smooth sailing.
It's just TGIA discussions and civility.
Don't talk it up so much.
All day long.
Yeah. No, it's a nice little group. It's a good group. Anyway, hey, thanks to Mackenzie, our lovely. What are we? She's our social
media guru.
Media guru.
Yeah.
AKA the girl who runs our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate your work.
Thank you so much, and thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music.
And thank you, dear listener, for all of your kind attention. We look forward to meeting you next week.
Bye.